We have been talking about intuition, instincts, imagination, authentic intellect, and how Reiki actually heals the injuries to those within you, how to identify what your particular intuitive sense is, clair senses. And we've talked about what it is. And so, Robin and I really spend a lot of time on the content here. And it's because we believe that we can teach methods of using Reiki to help us in our daily life, and we all need it. So, and we all need each other, and we all need community. So today, what we've been listening for, and it was so interesting because it took a while for it to come in, and it made me realize that I had not focused on this myself, and that is starting to go back to our ideas, using our imagination, our intuition, and our instincts, going from the heart, the gut, the brain, and thinking about your ideas. And on a personal level, this showed up. I was walking with my husband the other day, and it's been percolating anyway. The word has come through in different ways, but I was walking with him the other day, and I said, what are you thinking about for 2026? Because he's retired now. He's just had a pretty significant surgery, all those things. And so I was like, well, what do you think about 2026? And he was like, I haven't even thought of that. And then Robin and I talked, and we have everything really scheduled between now and February. And that is because we start our next step classes and Reiki training classes and explore the 12 heavens in January. So everything between now and then goes to January, and then February, frankly, we're teaching a lot of classes, but it's also a little bit of a time to just kind of catch our breath and slow down and refocus. So we were talking about, well, what do we want to focus on next year? And we both had some same thoughts, also reflecting on this year. And so as we were putting, we do create an outline for these. We don't, we could talk off the cuff, but we also like focusing in this way. And as we were working on the outline for it, it was like, okay, the next thing to talk about with intuition, instincts, imagination is, well, how do you use it every day? Why does it matter? What is the purpose of it? And so today, what we want to do is actually, when we do the Reiki journey, Robin will be doing that. And when we do the Reiki journey, we're going to let go of blocks to our ideas, and we are going to then receive that Reiki life force energy and vitality that moves into our imagination, which is where our ideas originate. And then our intuition. So, how is our intuition affecting our ideas? Well, a lot of times, like people like myself, I have so many, I'm very ADD, and I have so many that sometimes I need Reiki to sort through them. Like, okay, which ones are ones that I'm actually going to focus on or think about further, or maybe there's something I'm even going to take action on to manifest. They can be all different things. Ideas can be everything from just daydreaming and, noticing the beauty and the ideas that come from that. And then they can also be goal oriented. And so Reiki can help you discern what that means for you. So that's where your intuition comes in. It really, Reiki energy has a high level of discernment energy within it. So as your imagination grabs some of your ideas and then your intuition starts to think about it and listen around it and what are they for you, and giving you the time to kind of gain your clarity with that. So today I was thinking about it that, like for me, this is really just a beginning of receiving the energy in the journey and with Reiki to really start activating this part of us. What are our ideas? What are we thinking about? What do we want to focus on? And there's the only right way is your way. What you want to think about, what ideas are there for you are about you. Some people have very few ideas, and Reiki can help heal that. Sometimes our ideas have been suppressed in our life, but life is full of decisions. And we have decisions, we have distractions, we can have uncertainty, have maybe been taught to not really honor our ideas. Um, or maybe it's even just underdeveloped for whatever reason. So curiosity, ideas all come in with intuition. And then we have instincts. So your instincts move all of it into your body. It takes the intuition into the body, and it gives you an actual sense of embodiment and choice. Are you going to act? Are you going to pause? Also, the integration of it all. So it's operating at once. Some of them are going to be ones that you let go of. They may not have anything to do with imagination. Manifestation. They may not have an action with them. There may not have to be an outcome for them or an agenda with them. I think that happens a lot. I think that outside expectations about our ideas can be a limitation. They can create a fear of visibility. We talked about that last week too. Sometimes ideas have been, or instincts get clouded because you're stressed, you're busy, you have worries. What's right? What's wrong? What's true? What's not true? And the big one is what is coming from outside sources. Right now, we also talked about empathy. And right now, one of the skills that we have is to use Reiki to move our empathy into another level of perception. Move it out of the lower density streams of thought and energy and into the next level. Does not mean you're bypassing. It just means you've lifted into another viewpoint, another state of mind where solutions exist. Instincts have solutions. Also has that gut knowing. What's your gut knowing about something? So Reiki actually activates all of this. And so one of the things that we've been talking about is not only how you utilize this in sessions that you are giving for others, perhaps some of you are professional, but it's how is it applying in your daily life? So, anyway, I think today is a really good day to let that start activating. We also talked, I don't remember exactly when, whether it's in our next step classes or here, but we are in a time frame right now, an energetic time frame where things seem paused, or you're in the what how it was shown to me is calling it, we're in the in between. We are in completions of cycles, big ones, individually and collectively. And we are at the beginning of the new beginnings of the next cycle. And it's a unique time for us as people, and a unique time that our souls decided to incarnate onto the planet. I just, boy, if I always had the words to just feel like I could say how it shows up in my mind, because I really believe in the power that we have here as we move into these levels of thought, as we move forward into this level of, okay, let's lift out of the densities, activate our ability for our intuition, our imagination, our instincts, our inner knowing, to all wake up and move into our ideas and manifestation. Being in the in between can feel like you don't know what they are. And because the new beginnings are new beginnings, and the completions, everybody in here has all different versions of what that means for you. It can be in spiritual areas, it can be in physical or mental, it can be in health, it can be in finances, job, relationships, all different areas in your life that completions and new beginnings are starting. And there's a new level of consciousness activating. And there's the key. And that's what we want to feed, is the new level of consciousness, the new level of possibilities, and adding those possibilities, those ideas, the power of the imagination, the power of intuition, the power of your inner knowing, just simply into the stream of energy and consciousness for the collective. We talk about it here online. We're able to be online. That is new. you know, like we think of, yeah, well, we've been doing it now for, maybe the last 10 years. But that's really new in the gist of global communication and the new beginnings for humanity, that we can now, everybody hears from all over the world, all different time zones, and we can connect this way, and we can find each other knowing that the majority of people want this, even though the evidence um, right now seems as if there's just so much density. Just call it that. So, with our empathy, we can actually recognize if we are in those depths. And a lot of times, it's easier to say, oh, I'll just lift my energy into this next level, and now I've got it, and oh, I'm receiving my intuition, ideas are coming. Depending on where you are, that may seem like that's just a lot more to even have happen, or it's not going to happen. All different things that can, be part of what that feels like for you. Here's the next thing with Reiki, and this is why I think I am so attracted to it, is that Reiki energy just works with us. It meets us where we are. If we are in the ability to spend time in the energy, we absolutely love that. We can spend like time like this where we're here in community in our, beautifully, divinely ordered circle, all who are here today and those who listen later, that we can come here and focus and take this time to think about Reiki and use Reiki and activate it within us. But a lot of times I have people, I'll see people shake their head yes a lot when I say this in classes and otherwise. Like sometimes spiritual practices can feel like one more thing to do. Like, oh, I have to get that done, and there's a responsibility, and it becomes a burden, and I have to, and we can create rules or rigidity around it. And that's part of what I think Reiki is healing within us, that it's a matter of just activating it within. I've also been in really big periods of time where activating it within feels really difficult. And so, what I've learned with that is just to receive Reiki. And I can do that by saying, I receive Reiki, and keep doing. We can do that by taking a moment and breathing. You can chant it. You can do a few minutes of self-Reiki as you're sleeping or even while you're doing something else. I do a lot of self-Reiki when I'm watching TV. So you can do self-Reiki, you can do Reiki on the fly, however and whenever and wherever you remember. A lot of times I used to think, oh God, if I had only remembered I had Reiki, I could have called on Reiki. So then I learned that I could do Reiki and send it ahead, but also I could do Reiki and send it behind. So at the times that I forgot, I can actually use the distance symbol to send Reiki back to myself to when I wish I had activated it to begin with. So there's lots of different ways that you can use Reiki and start to activate your intuition, your imagination, and your instincts, and then let it come in to start activating your ideas. And what they are. And then as we move forward through the winter, really having, well, and some of you, sorry, are heading into summertime, I guess, because we're on different sides of the equator here. But it starts to give us the pathway ahead. We're going to spend a lot of time in December on observing your path where you've been and where you're headed. But this is the beginning of it. And so you can just simply receive it. We're going to actually do it in the journey. Robin will be doing that. What happens next is that it gets healed in areas where, perhaps your ideas, you've been taught that they're childish or not real or just part of your imagination. Your instincts might be clouded and it feels hard to find them. Sometimes you can have self-doubt or worry, And then sometimes there's the very, very real practicalities of your ideas. You do have to look at timing. What's your timing? What are your resources? What are your solutions? What are your actions if it is actionable? If the idea is something that you think you want to take action on, there has to be the practicalities as well. So there's the next thing with Reiki. And this happens, I really like the mental emotional symbol for this, to align your head brain, heart brain, gut brain. And when all of those are aligned, they're all activated, the practicalities are present, because the practicalities are all three, your perception triad. So they're all three working together. What does your gut say about the idea? What does your heart say about the idea? A lot of ideas come through the heart. And then what does your head say about it? And we'll take it to the next level. One of the things we've been talking about here in the previous weeks as well is whole body listening. We talk about that a lot. Recognizing that your chakras are centers of perception. And so as you are thinking of things like intuition, imagination and instincts, inner knowing, ideas, well, your root chakra, the practicalities of every day, have a voice. There are perceptions to consider. Your sacral chakra, there are perceptions to consider. That's your creative center, your creation center. And then your expression of your third chakra, self-expression. So each chakra, your heart, your throat, your head, all of it, each one has a perception and a voice within you that when you are activated in your listening to your intuition, to your instincts, all parts of you have a voice that you can hear about you. What is real for you? So what are the practicalities? If it's something actionable. And what about the timing? So is your idea something that you're going to do today? Is your idea something that you're going to plan out? Like I say, I asked my husband, well, what are you thinking about for 2026? And of course, having retired, his drive is so different. He's not quite sure what that means. But that's what we're doing here, is activating it within. So that starts, that process highlights and activates. Some of your ideas will come and they fade and they don't move into action at all. They're just like a passing daydream. And because we're empathic, think of the amount of times that you have an idea and then you watch somebody manifest it. And you see it show up because you're also picking up. You've moved into that stream of, like, there's innovations in the idea streams. There's imagination, there's possibilities, there's opportunities in the imagination and the idea streams. So think of how often that happens. Like you'll go, oh, or you just notice something that is, seemingly all around you now that you've had the idea. And then your intuition again is going to activate with discernment. So discernment about your idea. Is it one just moving past, or, well, wait a minute, I might want to, that might be actionable. And then you move it into your body if it's actionable. with your instincts. So now it seems like I've talked about all of these as components of different things, like that each chakra has a perception. It all works as one, and that's what it means to be in the flow. Like you just are letting it flow through. The insight, the idea may or may not show up today in a journey or in self-Reiki. It may show up while you're walking somewhere, while you're in the shower. That's a big place things show up. While you are doing dishes or you are just enjoying yourself, ideas can pop in as insight. That's another way that Reiki works. So what we're going to do now, Robin, just so you know, I'm about finished for the journey. What we're going to do now is experience how Reiki activates you, aligns all of your system, so everything is working as one, so you can hear yourself. The journey will have some healing for the areas where you're blocked. Reiki always has the letting go, the releasing of the things that are in your way or that are hiding your truth from you, or that are hiding, you know, the your authentic intellect in this case. And so there's going to be the letting go, and then there's going to just be the receiving of this energy that starts to activate it all, align it all, move you into that thought process, and have your mind start moving forward into these new beginnings, even as you're still experiencing some of the completions. All right. So thank you. I feel like I'm complete with that. Robin, do you want to answer anything? I mean, add anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We should make a quick announcement, right? We have classes coming up a lot in October. So Animal Reiki Master 1 and 2 and Master, and um, then Human Reiki 1 and 2 and Human Reiki. I did mention in January we start our next level of our year-long trainings, Next Step Reiki training level 1. For those of you in level 2 and level 3, of course, those just continue. And then also we do the Explore the 12 Heavens class. We're going to be talking a lot more about that to let you know what it is. These are the courses that really combine Reiki and shamanism in your practices, which actually is what we're doing here too. So this journey is a combination of that.